The driving range could actually be destroying your golf game if you're making some common mistakes that most golfers do. Lucky for you though, I'm here to fix it, and we're going to make sure you see the good golf transfer from here on the driving range out onto the golf course. Now, before I help you to get the most out of your driving range, I want to help you by subscribing to the channel. It's totally free to do. I'm a PGA pro. You're going to get loads of good advice. Hit the button down there. Let's get stuck in to fault number 1. Now, the first major problem that everyone makes at the driving range is all to do with how many balls you're actually hitting. You might actually be better off hitting 3 golf balls, because when you hit this many, the main problem is practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent. So hitting loads of golf balls down at the range and not actually having any intention for them just means you're cementing your bad flaws. Hitting 3 golf balls with real intention, real purpose and actual meaning behind them would actually see you getting better than maybe hitting 100 golf balls. So don't be that person who's already reaching for another ball before that one has even landed. Let's take a look at another one. Now, one of the next problems is all to do with aim. At the driving range, you'll find generally that you have a square mat and you're in a square box for the actual bay that you're in. So if you just align to this, you're never practicing your aim. It's really simple. We've all got a couple of clubs, and if not, you can buy alignment canes. One thing that you need to do down at the driving range is actually work on your alignment, because out on the golf course, we aren't going to have this square mat to help us align to our target. So by changing the alignment up by using your alignment canes, I suggest putting one down for ball position and then one down for body alignment to see that would be parallel and square to this line, but change it so you aren't aligned to the mat like so. This then will actually get us in the habit of starting to align properly, seeing that the ball position is in the right spot, ultimately giving us a better chance of actually getting more out of our practice. If you don't do alignment, when you come to the course, all of a sudden you might be a little bit unstuck. Now, the next thing that I want you to do at the driving range to make sure that you're transferring good shots here out onto the golf course is build good fundamentals. If we look at the best players in the world, and the best player in the world, Scotty Scheffler, he is meticulous about his fundamentals. We see him with a grip trainer, we see him practicing his grip, his alignment, everything as he warms up and even out on the golf course. You need to do that as an amateur golfer as well. So when down here, I see people hitting shots, not even taking their hands off the club before they hit their next ball. Every ball that you hit, try and go through a process of building good fundamentals, whether it's getting the grip out in front of you and making sure that the hands are placed onto the grip correctly with a face that is square, making sure that as you put that club in, is it aligned correctly? Have you got the right ball position, or are you just practicing sloppy fundamentals? Making sure that the body is angled correctly. If you're lucky enough that you've got mirrors at your driving range and you've got them back behind you, or even if you're using your iPhone or phone behind you, you can see these things. So get into the habit of actually being a little bit more meticulous, of building good fundamentals, because once we do that, it makes the golf swing a lot easier, and we can transfer those out onto the golf course each and every time. Now, before we get into problems 4 and 5, one of the biggest driving range mistakes is actually not subscribing to Matt Fryer Golf, because you won't know what to do when you get there. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Let's take a look at mistake number 4. Now, the next thing we need to do to get the most out of our driving range practice is actually practice with consequence. If we're just whacking balls willy-nilly out onto a big open field, guess what? Golf out on the golf course isn't like that. We need to actually have a little bit of meaning behind the balls that we're hitting. So things like the top tracer games that you can play, maybe devising your own game, how many greens you hit out on the range at a certain target, trying to hit it a certain distance, maybe making a fairway with the driver. Each ball needs to have consequence. So when you're stood over it, you're trying to emulate a little bit of the pressure that you feel out on the golf course. And if you hit a bad one, you can learn from that. Maybe you're missing the target left all the time. Might tell you that your grip's got a little bit too strong. That feedback and that consequence is going to emulate more of what we see out on the golf course, instead of whacking it into a wide open space thinking that you're Tiger Woods. And when you're practicing with consequence, try and do the same routine that you would do out on the golf course to see that you represent the same things that you might face out there. 22 feet. A little bit better than a missed green at 56 feet. Practice with consequence. And the fifth and final thing that we have to do at the driving range to make sure we're getting the most out of our practice is have some intention. It might be building something like this, a little practice plan before you go. You've got to have it before you go to the driving range so you know what you're going to the driving range for. You've got to have it during the driving range session. Might be working on a swing change, it might be doing some competitive practice. We hear things like block practice, we hear things like simulation practice, trying to simulate what we feel out on the golf course. And then afterwards, have a little reflection time. It might be making some notes of how you did in that session, but we have to have intention. If we're going there just to whack golf balls, as I said at the start, we are compounding errors and we aren't going to see good golf when we get out onto the golf course because we've already ingrained our bad habits. So make sure you go through that list and stop letting the driving range destroy your golf game and start to make some good golf appear out on the course. Guys, why not watch a video here where you can see how far you should actually be hitting your golf clubs as well.